The Democratic Alliance and the ANC have blamed each other for the violence at a council meeting in Nelson Mandela Bay. Yesterday's meeting ended in chaos. Well, let's find out what actually happened. The Herald political editor, Rochelle de Kock, was covering the meeting. She's joining us now via telephone from the Eastern Cape. Rochelle, good morning. Looking at the front page of your newspaper this morning, your story is the main one, Blood Flows in council. Tell us what happened from what you were able to find out yesterday.
Yeah, good morning, and good morning to all your viewers. Well, what happened was it was an ordinary council meeting, which started later in the afternoon. The media was then asked to leave because they were going to go into the confidential section of the meeting and to return at about 4:30 for a press conference to announce the new city manager that will be appointed. At that time, our officers are stationed directly opposite the road from where the council chambers are. We then got word that a shot had been fired, so we rushed over to the council chambers. At that time, the doors in the chambers were, you could see somewhat inside, but we were sort of hanging out around, and there was some security. The police hadn't arrived yet at the scene. And from what we could see, it appeared to be very tense. We weren't able to enter the council chambers, but we could see there was just glass everywhere. There was one councillor who was lying on the floor. There was another councillor who had blood all over his shirt. He's a member of the mayoral committee. And there just seemed to be, everybody seemed to be very angry at that stage. And then the doors were closed, and shortly after, emergency workers came, and the police came, and then they began to, cordon off the council chambers and as well as the road, and prevented anyone else from coming in. From what we understand...
You say the Herald's offices are just right across from the council chambers, the council building, and your attention was caught by shots that were being fired. How many shots were fired?
No. We got word that there was shots fired. We didn't actually hear it ourselves.
Okay.
We've just got a tip off that shots were fired. It's difficult to say how many were fired because, I think in all that chaos, the councillors, they didn't take note. Some are saying maybe one shot, others are saying maybe it was two shots. The ANC said the ANC is speaking of 3 shots. And of course they are blaming the DA chief whip for the shots. Whereas the Mayor Ethel Trollip, said that he heard a shot or shots. And it was by one of the security officers who fired into the ceiling just as a warning or as an attempt to try and disperse, the situation from getting even further out of hand.
Now, the tension in that council, has it been building up recently from what you know, Rochelle? As political editor of the Herald, have you seen anything that makes you believe that would have led to such behavior and such an incident in that council?
The meetings have been tense. Every single council meeting that has, taken place since the 3rd of August and since the change of, political leadership in the council have been tense. It started off with the very first, the inaugural council meeting where Mayor Ethel Trollip was officially elected and sworn in. That meeting was disrupted, and the next meetings after, there has constantly been confrontation. The ANC councillors just feel that the DA speaker is perhaps not ruling as fairly as he should. And, obviously some of the DA people retaliating. We've seen this several times, but never to this level where people are starting to throw glasses and glass jugs at each other and actually physically, harming each other. There have been incidents. The mayor and his executive have been going around doing IDP roadshows for the past 6 weeks. We have reported extensively on the fact that some of these meetings have been disrupted by people who wear ANC T-shirts, purporting to be ANC members or supporters at least, disrupting those IDP meetings. In this case, yesterday's incident, the fight started after, a discussion about the last one of the incidents at these IDP meetings when ANC councillor is alleged to have started the IDP meeting an hour before it was scheduled to start, And the meeting, was supposed to be chaired by either the mayor or the deputy mayor. And he, this councillor went ahead and started the meeting beforehand. And there was a discussion yesterday behind closed doors in the confidential section that this councillor should be disciplined for his conduct, or at least an inquiry be done into investigating his conduct. And that is what sparked the entire fracas yesterday.
No, thank you very much for talking to us this morning. That's the Herald political editor, Rochelle de Kock.